Good morning everyone. Hope we are all good. Alhamdulillah, we have complete the first volume of the book. So we will discuss some important things from the first lesson to the fifth lesson. Okay. So I'll tell you today, or I'll teach you what are the things we have to focus, or what are the things we have to be more concentrated. Okay. So from the first lesson, it is called electrostatics. So electrostatics is nothing but charges at rest. Charges will at rest. Okay. Charging the object through the rubbing, it is called triboelectric charging. One more question. Okay, ma? And then what are the basic properties of charges? What are the basic properties of charges? The electric charges is nothing but okay, electric charges charge neither be positive or negative. Okay, the second one is called conservation of electric charges. Is very important. The total electric charge in the universe is constant, and the charge can neither be created nor be destroyed in any physical process, or the net charge in charge will always be zero. Okay, this one is important. What is the quantization of charges? When the smallest amount of charges that can be found in nature. Okay, Q equal to Ne. Q is the quantization of charges, N is the integer, E is the charge of the electron. So which is equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. The next one important things is called Coulomb's law. So in 1786, Coulomb deduced that expression for the force between the two stationary point charges. Okay, the force between the 2 point charges, whether it can be positive or whether it can be negative. When the two positive like charges always repulsive, unlike charges always attractive, okay. So between these two charges he deduced the expression for the force. So according to the Coulomb's law, the force between any two charges is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of 2 point charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between the point charges. So the force, when the force, okay, then just consider there is a two forces, then there are two charges. Okay, the Q1, Q2 be the two charges. So the force on 1 by 2, force on charge 1 by 2, that is called F12. Then F21, force on 2 by 1, that is called force on 2, force on charge 2 by 1, it is called force Fn21. Okay, in the vector form we can write this one as F vector equal to Q1 Q2 by R square R vector. Okay, now listen, K is the constant of proportionality. It is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon r. The value of K equal to 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb inverse. One more question. Okay, here epsilon r is a permittivity of free space, which is will be equal to 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square Newton inverse meter square inverse. The magnitude of our electrostatic force between the two charges, each of the coulomb is separated by a distance of 1 meter, as calculated as follows. That means when the two equal amount of charges, when the two charges are separated by a distance of 1 meter, when they have the same magnitude, then they experience the repulsive force of 9 into 10 power 9 Newton. This is called 1 coulomb. This is called 1 coulomb. Okay. In SI units, Coulomb's law in vacuum takes from the 2 1 2 1 3. Okay. And then the gravitational force between the any two masses is always attractive. What is the similarities between the gravitational force, or what are the comparison of the gravitational force and the Coulomb force? The gravitational force between the two masses is always attractive, but Coulomb force between the two charges can be attractive or repulsive depending on the nature of the charges. Okay. The value of gravitational force or gravitational constant is 6.626 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square kg inverse square. The value of constant, the Coulomb's law, K equal to 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb inverse square. Okay, since K is much more greater than G, the electrostatic force is always greater in magnitude. The gravitational force smaller inside. Almost 10 power 40 times is greater. Okay, 10 power 40 times is greater. The gravitational force between the two masses is independent of the medium. For example, if the 1 kg of masses, two masses kept in the air or inside the water, the gravitational between the two masses remains same. But electrostatic force between the two charges depend upon the nature of the medium. So when the dipole is placed inside the water, there may be a force between the dipoles will be reduces or decreases. Okay. So the force charge when experience the forces, so F12 will be Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, the expression of the Coulomb force is true only for the point charges. Okay, important one thing, the expression for the Coulomb force is true only for the point charges, but the point charge is an ideal concept. However, we can apply the Coulomb's law in the two charged object whose sizes are very much smaller than the distance between them. In fact, Coulomb discovered his law by considering the charge spheres in the torsion balance as a point charges, okay. Now look at this one. When the common salt is taken in the water, electrostatic force between the sodium and chlorine ions is reduced due to the high relative permittivity of water. That means epsilon r will be equal to 80. This is the reason water acts as a good solvent, okay. So that's also an important one more question, okay. What is mean by this? Next one is called superposition principle. The total force acting on the given charges, which is equal to vector sum of the forces exerted on it by all other charges, okay. If you want to know the one charges, then it will become the vector sum of the charges. Next one, what is mean by electric field or electric field intensity? The electric field intensity is nothing but force per unit charge, So how much of force experienced by the test charge will known as the electric field intensity. So electric field intensity or electric field is given by the SI unit of electric field given by the Newton per Coulomb, the important aspects of electric field. So you know that if the charge Q is positive, then the electric field is always pointing away from the source charge. If the Q is negative, then what will happen? So this positive charge, all the field lines will be pointing away from the charge, okay. If it is negative, then all the charges are pointing towards the source charge, okay. The next one thing, the equations implies that the electric field independent of the test charge as it depends only on the source charge, okay, is independent of the test charge and depends only on the source charge. Next, since electric field vector is a quantity, every point in space, this field has the unique direction and magnitude. It has a unique direction and magnitude. The distance increases, electric field intensity will be decreases. In magnitude. Okay. So as soon as there are two kind of electric field, uniform electric field and non-uniform electric field, okay. So in uniform electric field, they have the same direction and the constant magnitude at all points in space. In non-uniform electric field, they have the different directions. In different magnitudes, okay. So look at the picture. They have the uniform electric field and non-uniform electric field, okay. So in the non-uniform electric field, they have the different directions and they have the different in magnitudes. And also, whenever the expression can be used to approximate finite distance, the test point far away from the fixed finite source, the source charge, the gravitational field will be in the sun and the earth. Also we can take it as the point masses or point charges, okay. The next one, distribution of charges as usual, okay. This one is very important. Electric field lines, okay. What are the properties of electric field lines? Give me the characteristics of electric field lines, all those things we have to write this one. What is the electric field lines? Okay, the electric field lines is an imaginary line or imaginary curved lines or straight line. The electric field vectors visualized by the concept of electric field lines, they form the set of continuous lines as the visual representation of the electric field in some region of space, okay. So they have the following rules and they have the characteristics, or it is called that properties, okay. The electric field lines always starts from positive charge and end at the negative charge at the infinity. For the positive charge point, electric field lines pointing radially outward. For the negative point charge, they are inward. So look at the picture, they are radial. The electric field lines are denser, okay, in the region where the electric field has the larger in magnitude, and less denser in the region where the electric field is smaller in magnitude, okay. So next one thing, they never intersect each other, like they will never intersect each other. The tangent always gives the direction of the electric field, No two lines, electric field lines, are intersect each other. If two lines cross the point, then there will be two different electric field vectors at the same point, as shown in figure. So they doesn't intersect each other. The number of electric field lines that emanate from the positive charge and end at the negative charge is directly proportional to the magnitude of the charge, okay. So number of electric field lines is directly proportional to the charge, okay. So how can you calculate the number of electric field lines? By n equal to q by epsilon naught. n equal to q by epsilon naught. Or if they asking calculate the number of electric field lines when 3 coulomb of or 8 coulomb of charges passing through it, then you can write n equal to q by epsilon naught, or you can write 8.85. okay, if I have the 8.85 coulomb divided by 8.854 into 10 power minus 12, then it will be equal to 1 into 10 power 12 lines in 8.85 coulomb of charges. Okay, so next one thing, electric dipole. Two equal and opposite charges are separated by a small distance, then they constitute an electric dipole. Okay, the best example of the dipole, carbon, CO, water, H2O, CO and ammonia, and then HCl. Okay, so always here note it down, the dipole moment always start from the negative to positive. Next one thing, what is mean by that electric dipole moment? Dipole moment is nothing but the magnitude of electric dipole moment equal to the product of the magnitude of any one of the charges and the distance between them. It is SI unit is coulomb meter. Okay, so due to the axial line is a 5 mark question, as well equator line is also one of the 5 mark question. Okay, torque, when the dipole placed in the uniform electric field, what will happen? They experience the torque. So torque equal to P sin theta, or we can write P cross E, vector product. So P sin theta, when it will be maximum, theta equal to 90 degree, the torque will be maximum. Okay, so it will be 0 when it is parallel or anti-parallel to that dipole. Now if there is a non-uniform field, electric field, they both experience the net torque and net force. So important 2 mark question. Electrostatic potential. Okay, what is mean by potential? Electrostatic potential energy or electrostatic potential. Electrostatic potential is nothing but bringing the unit positive charge from the infinity point to the region where the point to the point P where it is placed inside the electric field. Okay, so that is called electric field test charge, to bringing the test charge. The electric potential at a point P is equal to work done by the external force to bring the unit positive charge with a constant velocity from the infinity to the point P in the region, the external electric field. Again, sir. So here V equal to Q by integration of EDR. V equal to integration of EDR, bringing the point to infinity to point P. So E is nothing but Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R squared into R. R will be cancelled, so it will become V equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Okay, if the charge is positive, V is greater than 0. If Q is negative, V is negative, it's equal to V equal to minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Okay, so based on this we have that potential energy. So electrostatic potential at a point due to the electric dipole. This is also one of the important 5 mark question. Okay, so next one thing, we have to find V1, V2 and 1 by R1, 1 by R2. There is also the special cases, equipotential surface. Equipotential surface is a surface on which all the points are on the same potential. That is called equipotential surface. Properties of equipotential surface is a 2 mark question. Okay. Then relation between electric field and potential. Electric field and potential. E equal to minus dV by dx. So look at the picture, equipotential surface, there is a uniform relation between E equal to minus dV by dk. The electric field is the negative gradient of electric potential, because whenever the electric field increases, potential will be decreases. Electric static potential collections. Okay, so system of charges, Q equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12. So something that out they will come. So what is the electrostatic potential energy of the dipole in the uniform electric field? Then it must be a okay, then U equal to minus PE cos theta or minus PE. Okay, it is a dot product, so it's a scalar quantity. Potential energy is always scalar quantity. So when it will be maximum, when is parallel or anti-parallel to that electric field, then it will be maximum. It will be 0 when it's perpendicularly placed. Okay, when it's placed perpendicularly. Then pi equal to that electric flux. Okay, you know that electric flux. So remember that electric flux is always enclosed the charge. Okay, so whenever the charge enclosed in a system in a Gauss law also, okay, I am telling about Gauss law. When the charge enclosed in a system, they only contribute the electric flux, okay. The outside the charge, they never contribute any electric flux to the closed surface. So here pi equal to Ea cos theta, pi equal to Ea cos theta. So Ea is nothing but electric field and area. So Newton Coulomb inverse and meter square. So when the Gauss law is discovered that when there is a closed surface, electric flux for the closed surface, Gauss law. So Gauss law is one of the important things. If the charge is enclosed by the arbitrarily closed surface, then the total electric flux pi through the closed surface area, that means pi equal to q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught times they will emanate the electric flux, okay. So pi denote the charges inside the closed surface. So discussion of Gauss law is one of the 2 mark question. The total electric flux through the closed surface depends only on the charges enclosed by the surface, okay. Remember that, depends only on the charges enclosed by the surface, and the charge present outside the surface will not contribute the flux to the shape of the closed surface, which can be chosen arbitrarily. Total electric flux is independent of the location of the charges inside the closed surface, okay. So also you know that example very well, okay. And then the electric field due to the infinite long charge wise is important. 5 mark questions, and also is very well known questions. Electric field due to the charge infinite plane sheets, okay, and 2 plane sheets. These are the important 3 mark question and 2 mark question. So this is also one of the important 2 mark question. The electric field versus distance of the spherical shield of the radius. Gauss law is a powerful technique. Whenever the given charges the configuration possesses a spherical, cylindrical or planar symmetry, then the electric field due to the such a charge configuration can be easily found. If there is no such symmetry, the direct method can be used, Coulomb's law or calculus method. For example, it is difficult to use the Gauss law to find the electric field for the dipole, since that has a no spherical or cylindrical or planar symmetry. Okay, so whenever there is a symmetrical plane, there must be a So the electric field is 0 everywhere inside the conductor. This is true regardless of whether the conductor is solid or hollow. Okay. So these are the conductors at the equilibrium. The condition for the conductor at the equilibrium. There are the 4 conductors. So you must read that one. There is no net charge inside the conductor. The charges must reside only on the surface of the conductors. Next one thing, the electric field outside the conductor perpendicular to the surface, this gives the magnitude of sigma by epsilon naught. The fourth one is nothing but your electrostatic potential as the same value for the surface inside and the outside of the conductor. Okay. So Faraday cage, electrostatic shielding. Okay, this is the Faraday cage, or it is called electrostatic shielding. So which is it is look like a cavity. Okay. Electrostatic induction, charging without actual contact is called electrostatic induction. Charging the metal without any contact. Okay. Dielectrics. So this is very important. Polar and non-polar. What is the difference between the polar molecules and non-polar molecules? So already I gave the notes, so read that one. Polarization. Polarization. What is the polarizability? What is the electric field of polarizability? Is Cm meter square inverse. Okay, this is important 1 mark question. So next one is capacitor. So we know very well about this one. Capacitor is a device to store the electric charges or electrical energies. Consists of 2 conducting plates which is having the metal plates. Okay. So tantalum is the most common things we are using the capacitors, and then C equal to Q equal to CV. C equal to Q by V. The capacitance of the capacitor defined as the ratio of the magnitude of charge either the conductor plates of the potential difference existing between the conductors. So normally the Coulomb per volt, but are Farad to honor of Michael Faraday. Farad was a very large unit of capacitance. So in practically we are using the microfarad or picofarad. Okay. So applications of capacitors, one of the important 3 mark question, and also they will ask 2 mark question. Energy stored in the capacitor. How much of energy will be stored in the capacitor? Okay, so work done is nothing but bringing the unit charge. So potential equal to work done bringing the charge from the infinity. So look at this one. You know very well applications of capacitors. Applications of capacitor, most of the familiar digital cameras, and then voltage fluctuations, and then automobile engine to eliminate the sparking. Everything we are using here. Sorry. Okay, this is also one important things, dielectric inset. Okay, so when the battery is disconnected, the charge will be constant, voltage will be decreases, electric field decreases, capacitance will be increases, energy will be decreases. When the battery is connected, charges increases, so voltage will be constant, electric field also constant, the capacitance increases and also energy also increases. So capacitance series and parallel, capacitance series and parallel. 3 mark question. And then what is the distribution of charges in the conductor? Okay, so here sigma r equal to constant, so sigma is inversely proportional to 1 by r. That means the surface charge density is inversely proportional to that distance. So action of points are corner discharge. The leakage of charges from the small area or leakage of charges from the sharp edges is called corner discharge or action of points. Okay, the net charge, the positive ions repelled at the sharp edge and the negative ions attracted towards the sharper edge. This reduces the total charge of the conductor near the sharp edge. This is called action of points or corner discharge. So based on this one, the lighting arrestor work, and then based on action of points and electrostatic induction, Van de Graaff generator also work. So everyone, we have to write this, that limitations and then what is that uses of that Van de Graaff generator. You must write this one for the 5 mark question. Okay guys, so alhamdulillah, this is the important things in this lesson. We will discuss with second lesson on next week. Okay, I mean next class. Okay, thank you guys. Allah Hafiz.